Hi, I'm Leigh-Mallory, and behind me in the set, the badgers sleep. The other day I was given a unique opportunity to head down to the Secret World Animal Rescue Centre, where Pauline Kidner and the team are rearing a 3-week-old Badger Cub named Hope. So can you tell me the story behind Hope and how she came to the centre?
Yeah, we had, Hope came to us actually about 3 weeks ago now. She only weighed 101 grams in all, but it was a very unusual situation because it was a badger that was reported to us in a greenhouse with a cub. So we sent somebody out because obviously we didn't want to disturb them if they were okay. And Andy, who's our wildlife release manager, he went out and looked inside. The badger was obviously injured around the neck and the ears, and there was a bit of a nasty smell there, so he decided that it was best to pick both the badger and the cub up. When they got back here, the cub was extremely cold, so Sarah, who's our animal care manager, warmed the cub up, gave it a feed, put it back with the sow, hoping that the sow would accept it. And then a couple of hours later went down and the cub was again cold and crying, so decided to pull it away. Because of the injuries, we left the badger quietly overnight, took it into the vet next day, only to find that it wasn't actually the mother. So we had a
bit of a mystery.
Yes, absolutely. But we now know that there is a set very near to there. Obviously from the sheets and different things that were in the greenhouse, something had obviously given birth. And we think that probably what happened was that the sow gave birth, took the cubs back to the set, left one behind, had an argy-bargy with one of the subordinate females, who then came out and, as luck was have it, went into the greenhouse with the cub and kept her warm. So an unusual story really.
In a minute, she's due for her feed, so that's going to be exciting. Obviously, babies need feeding, so what's the frequency of feeding for Hope at the moment?
At the moment she's sort of 3 to 3.5 hours right through.
That's dedication. So
yeah.
you guys here share the shift pattern, or?
I'm sort of helping out in the daytime. Pauline and Sarah, the animal care manager, really do the bulk of the feeds with the babies.
And here's Hope, just woken up for a feed. Absolutely tiny. You can already see those characteristic markings of our friend the badger, the black and white stripes. And also, the claws are really well developed, more than I ever imagined.
Come on then, let's get you some food. Stays on the hot water bottle when she's being fed. So. Okay, well first we toilet her, which is what her mother would do, is teach her to go to the toilet. She's starting to go on her own now, but we still toilet her before we feed her. It's not the most dignified of process because you have to get the cotton wool under her little tail, which she tucks in really, really tightly, and just gently try and stimulate her to go to the loo. Sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't. Mum would lick to stimulate them to go to the toilet. We put on some talcum powder on our hands and just on her, which means that whoever's feeding her smells fairly similar and she's not being put off too much. So, and then we take the milk that's been warmed, just test. That's fine. She likes it fairly hot, but and you have to be very careful to get the teat on top of her tongue rather than under her tongue. So you have to be fairly strong with her. She's incredibly strong for such a small baby. Come on, darling. Come on, put it in there. Come on. That's it.
A miniature teat, absolutely incredible.
And fairly high up because to not get too much air. So she has to be quite upright. There she goes. Good girl.
I've got a 7-month-old at home, Harry, who's on SMA and Actimel. So what do you feed a young badger? I haven't any idea, so it's over to you.
Well, it's this milk, it's Esbilat, which we recommend. One of the problems that we have with Hope is that she has literally been with us since she was newborn, so she hasn't had that colostrum milk, the milk that has all the antibodies in it. Whereas this does have a certain amount of extra vitamins and different things, so we hope it will help her through the early stages of life. To start with, it was very small amounts, just literally getting her to associate me with the feed and for her recognising the taste. And so she went from really taking 2 to 3 mils, and now at 3 weeks old she's taking about 20 mils, which is really good.
Good girl. Good girl.
I found it quite ironic this morning to see the love that Hope's been given and given a chance of life here, and then we hear about our government and this planned badger cull. What do you think about that, Pauline?
I just can't understand how they can go ahead with something like a cull when we have the science that quite clearly shows that culling badgers can actually make matters worse. You know, certainly not actually going to improve the situation with bovine TB in cattle. We've done the experiment. It lasted 7 years, cost £53 million, killed 11,000 badgers, and the answer to that was that badger culling played no meaningful part in the control of bovine TB in cattle. And so that's what we've got to concentrate on, the cattle-to-cattle transmission, which is the biggest problem of all.
And the eyes are shut at the moment, and hopefully in the next few weeks they're going to open. And she looks to be doing really, really well.
So you hold on to the bottle. You hold on to the bottle.
You can see those front claws there, already really well developed. And the name badger, we think, originates from the French word badger, meaning digger. And badgers rely on those powerful claws, of course, for excavating their badger setts, where they live in social clans or groups.
Go on, sweetie. Good girl. Good girl. That's it. Good girl. I think she's had enough.
Now I can see here, Pauline, you've got a real comprehensive log of observations for Hope. And she came to the centre. How much did she weigh when she came in?
She was literally just 104 grams there, you can see actually.
Absolutely tiny.
And as with all newborn babies, lose a little bit of weight first couple of days and then start to climb. But this gives you an idea of the number of feeds that she was having, because it was practically every 1 to 2 hours to start with.
Wow, so you've been busy.
Yes. And of course one of the things that you have to realise is that the Badger Cub, the eyes and the ears are totally sealed for 5 weeks. So the only sense that she has is her sense of smell.
Right.
And so the fact of one person more or less feeding her is much better, because she learns to associate that person with food.
Where are you going, Pickle?
Hope's busy exploring. And Hope practising her vocal range by the sound of things.
And sleep.
Well, thank you very, very much for letting me come down to Secret World and see Hope. It's the first time I've actually seen a Badger Cub so young, and hopefully we'll come down again and follow Hope's progress. Well, I really enjoyed meeting Hope just the other day at the centre, and we'll keep you updated on her progress at the website, which is www.wildlifewhisperer.tv.